If you're running Facebook ads and you're sick and tired of getting leads that either don't pick up the phone, they're not interested in your service, or the phone number is completely disconnected, what I'm going to do today is run you through my framework on how we fix Facebook ad campaigns where it seems like every lead you get is completely useless and therefore your return on investment is just not there with Facebook ads. The reason I wanted to make this video is because there's a lot of construction businesses that are running Facebook ads, but they haven't really seen that return on investment because the quality of leads is just that bad. You can fix the lead quality issue with this step-by-step guide. So I'm going to run you through the process of fixing this issue for one, and two, I'm going to give you a live demo on exactly how to do it. If we just hop straight into it and go up from the top, the first thing I need to point out is that Facebook leads will always not be as good as Google leads or any other medium for that fact. And the reason is they're on Facebook to be entertained. They're not on Facebook to buy something. Facebook is a very much cold audience. You not only need to stop and get their attention, but you need to give them a reason to actually inquire with you. And the only way you do that is by following this framework. I'm going to show you how to stop getting leads that are either out of zone, they don't pick up the phone, or they're not interested. So we'll run through that now. The first thing you can do, especially if you're just starting out, is you can actually just upload a lead list. So if you've already got an existing customer base, if you've already got their name and email address, you can actually upload that straight to Facebook and create what's called a lookalike audience. So Facebook will match all the database with what lead list you've given them, and it'll find people that are similar to the audience you already have. Because the audience you already have, they're already interested, they've already bought from you. So Facebook can try and find you those leads as well. It's a really quick way on getting quicker results with Facebook ads, and it can help you, rule out a lot of bots as well. And another thing you need to realize is there are quite a bit of bots on Facebook ads. That's partly the reason you are getting these useless leads, but there are a few ways we can actually mitigate that. And the whole point of this video is to increase friction and make it harder for these leads to actually become a lead. Your cost per lead will go up, but the whole point of this is to get more quality leads so you're not wasting as much time on the phone. If you're happy getting lots of leads for really cheap and you've got a great sales process, by all means, you can ignore this video. But if you don't want to waste time calling people that don't exist, this video is going to be for you. First thing we want to do is turn off the Advantage Plus campaign. This almost never works. It can work for e-commerce, but because we're working in construction and we need homeowners that are literally in the area that we're in, we just can't make this work. What we want to do in terms of setting up the campaign properly to avoid all these people is if we create a brand new one, we go for leads. Never do a tailored leads campaign. It does not work. We want to do everything manually ourselves. So we don't need the A to B test. We don't need the Advantage campaign budget. We're going to go straight into the lead ad set. And this is where you're going to be doing most of your settings. Now, if we're going to go for instant forms, we're going to click instant forms. The only two I ever recommend you doing is instant forms and website. All the rest of them are a bit of a waste of time. You're going to want to select your Facebook page. Now you can either go for maximize the number of leads or maximize number of conversion leads. This is where Facebook is going to try find you people that are most likely going to share their contact with you. You can very well go with the first option and run through the steps I'm about to show you, and that'll work too. I don't recommend doing a cost per result goal because if it's too low and too unrealistic, Facebook ads just won't even spend your money and your ads won't get shown. So I don't recommend doing that when you start. You can start doing this when you're about a month or two in. Next, we're going to set a daily budget. You can do that as whatever you want. Audience controls. The first thing you want to do is set a radius. I don't recommend using postcodes. It doesn't work well as radius. So what we want to do is, let's just pretend we're in Minnesota. I'm going to click that. I'm going to remove it. Just zoom in here. I'm going to drop a pin and let's just pretend we're here. This is going to be my radius and I'm going to set the actual mileage around. This is the easiest way to actually target people properly. Another quick thing to note is even when you have this radius, Facebook is going to target people that might be in this circle at some points in time. Now, if people drive through here or they work in this circle, but they live outside of the circle, you will still get leads. So that's something you need to bear in mind. And later in this video, I'm going to show you how to try and avoid those too. But essentially what you want to do here to avoid getting people out of zone is you set another circle that's outside of your bounds. So they're just touching radius to radius. We'll make it about 8, probably go 9, And then what we're going to do is just switch this to an exclusion location. And what you want to do is keep adding this exclusion location all around your actual location. So Facebook can try and avoid people that are in between the two. So they could be living outside but working inside. This is the easiest way to try avoid people from coming outside of the zone. So that one looks pretty good. We'll exclude it. And basically we're just going to create a circle around our whole target location. And this should help avoid getting people outside of your zone tremendously. And this is the end result you want to come up with. This should help tremendously stop people that are outside of your zone from actually seeing the ad. Now what we want to quickly do is switch to an original audience options. Meta has all this stupid AI, which is great, but it just doesn't work, especially for construction, because it's always showing your ad to people that are not interested in your service, for one, and two, people that are outside of your zone. So we're going to switch to original audience to make sure our ads are seen by actual homeowners inside the circle. So now what we want to do is set that proper age. Now this totally depends on your business. Every business is different, but most homeowners, they're unlikely to be less than 25 years old. And this really depends. You can have people that are 65 plus, but most people like dealing with people that are slightly younger and they're not in retirement homes. They're just living on their own. I would strongly recommend setting the age. Most construction businesses I've dealt with, they can do both male and female that inquire. This advantage detailed targeting, we want to turn it off because as it quite literally says, it'll reach people beyond your targeted location, which we do not want at all. So I always recommend turning that off and the rest is good. Going back to our Miro board. So we've done the radius, we've done the exclusion zone, we've turned off that awful setting. I don't ever recommend using interest targeting, which is right here. You can add demographics, interests, and behaviors. I always find that Facebook is very smart and it knows everything about you. So that being said, you will find that actually Facebook has a better idea of who your customer audience is, better than you do. So this is just a waste of time. I wouldn't ever actually add any of these. Next, a very important thing. What you want to do to try and stop people that are unqualified and out of your zone from coming in is I strongly recommend in your primary text, at least in the very first 1 or 2 lines, make sure you actually add the location of your service. So if you do statewide, put your state. If you do a certain city, put your city. If you do this, and it's the very first thing that people see, if someone is outside of the zone, they will know I am outside of the zone. I'm not going to inquire on this ad. So that's one way to quickly prevent people from actually seeing, not only seeing your ad, but two, making sure they don't actually come through. You can add it in the description as well. And to stop unqualified people from coming through, I would make your primary text as detailed as possible. So it's quite clear exactly what you do, who you help, and this is what you can do for them. If you do that, you will get significantly better leads because people who don't qualify for it, they're going to understand, I don't qualify for this, I'm not going to inquire. The next very important thing is go to your form. And this is the biggest hack I can give anyone, is I would manually ask people for their phone number. When you manually ask people for their phone number, they have to manually type in their number. If they're willing to type in their number, that means it is their phone number and they will pick up the phone. So instead of having it here as an autofill, I have it at the very front, just asking them straight away what their phone number is. Another thing you can do if you want more quality leads, you can ask more radio questions to just get an exact idea of, what type of home they have, what they want help with, just anything you can add that'll better qualify your leads. That's when you start getting really good quality leads. Your cost per lead will go up, but at least you're getting better quality leads and you're not wasting your time on the phone. So add a manual phone number in the form, ask more questions, and now you've got a lead. Now, what you can do is you can use messenger ads and have an automated bot that asks the client questions so you can get a response, and depending on what response they give, you can actually tell Facebook this is a good lead and this is a bad lead. Because when you do this, what it means is Facebook has more quality data. When Facebook knows that 10 out of 20 leads were good, it's going to find more people of the 10 than rather than the whole 20. And the same thing for a landing page. When you use a landing page, your chances of getting a better lead are significantly higher, but your cost per lead is up at the same time. So these are both optional things you can do. Highly recommended if you want to get better quality leads. If you want cheaper leads, Facebook form is the way to go for you. Now that we've obtained the lead, I want you guys to seriously think about what are you doing with this lead? Because if you are not calling this lead within 60 seconds, your chances of actually getting through to the customer and closing a deal are basically going off a cliff. This is an actual scientific study that I will link below, that when you call a lead within 5 minutes, your chances of actually getting through to them and booking in a site visit, for example, are going to be significantly higher. So I've basically put 3 options you can do here once you've actually obtained the lead to maximize your chances of getting through to them, booking a site visit, and closing a job. So the very first thing is call within 30 seconds. If you call within 30 seconds, chances are they're still going to be on their phone and they will answer it. Another quick thing you can do is you can text them, "Hey Sandy, it's Andrei, I'm about to call you." And what's going to happen is, especially if they have an iPhone, as soon as you send that text and then you ring them straight away, on their phone it might actually say who it is. So it could say your name and that you're calling, so they see who it is. Because a lot of people, especially in the States, get a lot of scam calls, and that's the reason they don't pick up. So we need to inform them of who we are so we can actually get through to them. So that's just a little quick side note there. But what you want to do is, if they don't answer, you can call them straight away again. And what's going to happen here is, psychologically, they think this might be an emergency. Maybe I should answer it because they've called twice. You know, it could be an emergency. So that's another thing you can do. Then, if they still don't pick up, you can call them 7 more times within that day, and eventually they might just pick up. Then the next day, you call another 7 times, and then the next day, you call 5 times. Only then, if you don't get a response from all of that, then you can leave a text and email letting them know you called. A lot of people see emails and text messages and they just ignore it because they're not actually interested. So when you use this phone strategy, they don't know who's calling. They have no idea what it's about. So you can actually close the deal just over the phone. Whereas when they see an email or text, sometimes they get a little bit cautious and they deliberately don't answer your phone call. There's 2 ways of going about this. This is the other strategy, but for this strategy, where in your line of business, it works better when you get people on the phone instead of emails and texts, this could be the best way moving forward for you. Now, if getting them on the phone is not the best thing moving forward for your business, you can email and text them 3 times in one day so they know who's calling. You can do the same thing the next day, you can do the same thing the next day, and then you can do the same thing after 4 days. If they don't answer all of those within 4 days, only then would I cancel it as a lead and just mark it as lost. And the reason I gave you these 2 options is because one of them is bound to work better for your business, and it's just a matter of trying and see which one of these 2 is actually the way moving forward for your business. So if you incorporate all of these systems into your Facebook ads and you really dial in your sales process after you get the lead through Facebook ads, your chances of getting through to the customer and actually booking a site appointment are going to be significantly higher if you incorporate all of these systems. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, just hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep putting out videos for construction businesses to help them get more leads and close more deals.